Everyone say it with me. You're not a credit card person.
Shame on you. You're all a bunch of financial rubberneckers. What do I mean by rubberneckers? You're riding down the financial highway and you see somebody having a car accident and you can't take your eyes off of it. Caleb Hammer has captured this to a T, and we're going to load you up with more reactions.
Brian, I am so excited to see some more of what Caleb and his guests have going on. Here we go.
So I'm thinking about selling the car, but I don't know if I should, because I also don't have car insurance.
Oh, goodness.
Well, that's against the law.
Well, I don't drive it.
Huh?
Ever?
I haven't driven it since I haven't been having car insurance. Because I had car insurance when I first moved
She's
here,
responsible, at least.
and it was like $200 a month.
How'd you get here?
I got here with my car,
What? Wait a minute.
with car insurance.
She has 2 cars.
So you have car insurance now.
No, not anymore.
How'd you get here today in my place?
Logic exercise.
I don't know.
No. How'd you transport from your house to my place?
I drove my friend's car. Sorry.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Make her problem somebody else's
She was
problems.
thinking like existential. Like, how'd you get here? How'd you find yourself in this place? No. Physically, how did you get in an automobile to get here? Oh, man. Okay, so she has a car, but she doesn't have insurance on it because she can't afford the insurance, but she still has the car, but she doesn't drive it. There's something just way off there.
By the way, just having a car parked, it's so
expensive.
There's liabilities. I mean, think about storm damage, somebody, if it's just out in the elements, if somebody backed into it, you still have lots of liabilities and obligations that need to be covered. Why do you think all the wealthy folks that collect vehicles, they actually buy insurance on those vehicles that are parked in storage and so forth? That is disastrous. So she's not only... Get out of the thing. If you're not using it and you're spending that much towards it, just be done with the bad decision, unwind it properly, and you'll be in a much better place.
Here's what I don't get, because she's already proven that she can live without driving a car, so just get rid of the car, and it seems like it would make a lot of her financial situation a lot better.
I do want to end on a positive with her thing, though. Obviously, she's very likable because she went and asked a friend if she could borrow their car, and they said,
Yeah, sure.
Why not? You have to be one heck of a person to your friends to
let them borrow a car.
I mean, I've driven your car before, but it's not like an everyday thing where you go ask a friend to drive their car.
A lot of my friends I would not let drive my car.
Ooh, shots fired.
What's the truck?
2022 Ram 1500.
Big one.
Yeah.
What is the minimum monthly pay? What's the debt amount on it?
I'll just pull it up.
Oh man.
No,
you know it's gonna be
that's
big.
Your payment?
It's gonna be big.
Yeah.
Buddy, it's a fourth of your freaking. It's more than a fourth of your freaking.
You can tell. Listen how high Caleb got.
Going to a single one of the things you have to drive.
You'd have to live in it.
When did you get this? When did you possibly get this?
Like 2 months or 2 weeks after I got my house.
When was that?
November.
How'd you think this was a good idea?
How are they giving loans for that?
How'd you think this was a good idea? $51,536.14 of debt.
$51,000 of debt on a truck, not including the house that he had bought 2 weeks prior. How much did his financial situation change in that week when it comes to his debt load?
What I get sad about in these situations, because Caleb just gave away that this is like a 25% of his cash flow just for cars. That goes way beyond the 8% we talk about with 23.8, our rule on car buying. And I just hate that, because you know that housing is also going to be high. So that over 50% of this gentleman's income has already disappeared before we even talk about life, before we talk about saving and investing. He's not leaving any margin for anything that actually will build success and all the things he's looking for. And what I hate is that when you finance cars, realize cars are financial napalm. They will blow your financial life up. I'm okay with debt on cars as long as it's small to be a bridge to get you to reliable transportation. I want you to think Corolla, not Land Cruiser or Dodge 1500. Holy cow. I mean, he is he's obviously bought a car he can't afford. He needs to completely revamp the process.
Here's the other thing I think that is wild, and I think so many people fall into this trap when it comes to consumption. When they buy a big thing, they immediately go buy another big thing and then another big thing. You don't actually get to enjoy the big things that you've bought. So we bought a house, and 2 weeks later went and bought a brand new automobile. If you would have spread those out, you get to spread out the enjoyment and fulfillment you can get from consumption. But if you force it all in there together, you're not actually getting any of that, and all you're doing is just putting an absolute strain on your overall financial situation.
I just use the card for the points.
Don't spend. No.
Points.
There is no points to be
credit
gained. You're losing to $11.50. What? What?
It's not worth me spending money on it if I need something, if I'm not getting the
You're
points.
losing $11 a month because you're not fully paid it off. Why add to the balance ever?
Because this is how they get you, and it works on most people, and it worked on me. So yeah.
Everyone say it with me. You're not a credit card person. It's okay that you're not. Do you know what that means?
That I don't use them correctly? Is that what that means?
You suck at them. You're terrible at them. They're getting money from you. You're not getting any benefit from them. I can hook you up with the Fizz card, again, geared towards college students, but it helps build credit.
Some tough love.
But guess what? It's not a traditional credit card. It helps balance your spending in certain categories. That's good. That's what you need. You are not a credit card person.
I think there's a lot of people that fall in the trap. Well, realize credit card companies, unlimited marketing budgets. They incentivize, they've gamified the process, and the fact that you spend money, you get this feel-good perk, you get these rewards, but that only works is if you pay it off in full, because otherwise you're upside down in the transaction, meaning the credit card company makes all the money. Yeah, they pay a little teeny tiny bit, but the spread between what they're making and what they're spending on you is night and day.
Now, don't miss here. So we're not saying that we don't like credit cards. We both use credit cards. We love being credit card users. It's okay if you can do that so long as you're paying it off every single month. If you are carrying a balance, you are doing it the wrong way. So in this situation, she is not a credit card person. She should not be a credit card person, no matter what benefits she thinks she's receiving.
What is this global exchange payment?
That is a GVC, stands for Global Exchange Vacation Club, where it's like a subscription, and you get discounts to hotels and resorts.
You can't afford a hotel or resort. It doesn't make sense. You can't even get a TV. Cancel that shit, dude. That makes no sense. Or just have her pay for it. I don't know her financial situation. What do you mean?
I bet he can't cancel it.
It's $156 a month for 3 years.
Well, is this like a timeshare?
It's similar.
Dude, how'd you get coaxed into this? That's a lot of money on a monthly basis.
It is. Yeah, we get it's a 20-year membership. We've used it so far. We have used it. We've got a
20-year membership. We said for 3
vacations
years.
that we get.
I'm confused.
It's not free.
This is some hybrid of a timeshare. And what he's not even, and Caleb, I don't even think had a chance to get, because this guy has obviously financed the down payment. Does not take into account, because the big catch on timeshares also is the annual maintenance. And they typically go on perpetually. I don't know. He said 20 years, so good on him if this thing goes away. But a lot of these things have a tendency that they want to go even beyond your life. But timeshares, I mean, it's once again another instant gratification moment. You know, there's a reason he's on vacation. They say, hey, we'll give you either a massage free, we'll give you a discount. He did it, and then the moment they convinced him, you know what, you ought to join our program, and we have a deal. We'll spread it out over years. Even if you can't afford it, we'll make it work. And now he's strapped.
Yeah, I think that's absolutely correct. He said you can't even afford to buy a TV, yet you have this vacation club, this membership thing that you're trying to do, and we all fall prey to this. I think every single one of us, we are tempted by, when we check out a local retail, they say, hey, if you'll just sign up for this card, we'll knock off $20, $50, $100, not thinking about the long-term costs of what that is. This guy fell in the same trap. He loved the discount, but did not recognize the long-term cost that this would carry on for 20 years of payment.
Let me get an understanding of your wealth then real quick. Okay. What is in your checking account right now? Your personal checking account.
Pennies.
Okay. What is in your savings? Personal savings.
I mean, there's no cash.
What are in the stock market?
I had some crypto. And I may have some stocks that I haven't looked at in a long time.
Oh boy. How much do you have?
I don't know. The crypto's probably a couple $100 maybe, and
He opened a
So
Coinbase
how much
account.
equity do you have in properties?
Nothing.
That's
I mean,
the
this is
one
not
thing
a young guy either.
I walked away from my house when my wife passed away, and I didn't have the cash at the time, but the mortgage money was sitting there.
This is a sad
We went to the
situation.
National.
the mortgage money, taking money from the. Okay.
Right.
He sounds like he was in a bad situation, obviously lost a loved one, but and so he decided to walk away from the house. But that does not change the fact that obviously there are some decisions that are not happening, even as simple as having just some savings in a savings account. You know, if you follow the financial order of operations, one of the very first things that we say is you have to have your deductibles covered. You have to get to, a lot of people say $1,000 in a savings account. This guy, and he's not a young guy, didn't even do that very base minimum level of financial security. So something in his financial plan has gone very, very awry.
I think it's not uncommon when bad, horrible life stuff happens. Like he lost a spouse, it sounds like. So you can get a tremendous amount of clarity from trauma. However, you have to. So if he has his aha moment, I don't want to be in this house. I don't want to have to do it. Nothing wrong with using that trauma clarity to change your life. But you can't skip steps. You don't just get to say, I'm going to walk away from this without finishing the drill of, he should have sold his house. I mean, that's how you get out of the mortgage. Don't just walk away from it, because the bank is still going to have to go through the process of essentially ruining your credit, even if you very likely he had equity in this house, but the bank is still going to take you through the process.
Don't apply permanent solutions to temporary problems.
Yes.
Even if you're in a house that you can't afford or the mortgage payment that's too high, there are ways to get out of that, to get away from that, other than just completely walking away from the house. But I still can't get over the very baseline deferred gratification, save a little bit of today's income so you have some money tomorrow. The fact that all he has is pennies in his checking account is not a good place to be, no matter what stage of life you're in.
Not every bill I pay, there's other bills that I pay that aren't mine, technically.
You barely even pay your own bills late fee on every account we've looked at so far.
Oh, goodness.
Yes.
What do you mean?
If they don't pay it, I don't know who will. That's
It doesn't matter. It's not yours. You can't even pay your own bills. Your bills come first before anyone else's.
That's fair. I guess like
You have a great heart and good sympathy, but you
I have a
need
theory.
to look at this from a realistic perspective. You're throwing.
I wonder how many
your
he's
entire
romantically
future
interested
down the
in.
drain right now because you're missing payments. You can't do that. You matter too.
So this is like a friend situation. He's paying other people's bills, but not
Friend zone
paying.
situation is my guess, because why in the world would he be paying somebody else's bills at his own detriment, meaning that he hasn't even paid his own bills, has late fees. He's obviously trying to position himself in a way that he looks like he is, hey, I'm going to take care of you, going to hook you up. And he's friend zoned into a situation that sounds like it's not working out too well.
Now, you may be saying, okay, that's so far-fetched. Who would ever fall into that? No one's going to do that. How many times, Brian, do we see parents do this with their children? Instead of them making sound, wise financial decisions so that they can be on sound financial footing, they decide to give money to Junior to help with the car insurance, to help with the car payment, to help with the rent payment, to their own detriment. So we literally see people falling into the same trap, even when it's not the friend zone trap. It's just like when in an airplane. You have to make sure you have your oxygen mask on first before you can help others. If you get that out of whack, you're not going to be doing either one of you a solid service.
Dude, you've been in business for a year, but you don't know what your
now I realize
overhead is and everything?
how big of a problem that is, actually.
Just now I
you're
realize.
realizing that? How now? Whoa. Okay. All right.
How does he know if he's making money?
This is a business. I have overhead. I have a full-time employee. I have contracted things out. I'm bringing on a second full-time employee. I know my numbers. I wouldn't be able to survive if I didn't know my numbers.
Yeah.
You don't know your numbers?
No, you're right. I definitely should.
Again, Brian, so your background is public accounting. So you've worked with tons of small business owners. How often have you seen, now maybe not quite so dire, but how often have you seen, hey, so long as money's coming in, I'm okay. I don't know what my expenses are, but so long as I have revenue coming in, I'm in an okay place.
Well, they're basing it off their bank account. If
That's
there's
right.
money in the bank, but meanwhile, they might have written a check or they have money that's being drafted that they have not done the mental accounting on, and it goes bad. And you can see how this starts a pile-on effect, because if you don't know, because you also might be bidding your projects too cheap, not actually making a profit. But what I worry about with something like this, and this is what Caleb was hitting at, nobody, I mean, absolutely no one is going to love and care about your stuff like you must. You know, so a lot of entrepreneurs love the idea, I want to start my own business, I want to be part of this entrepreneurial life, but they're not willing to do the heavy lifting. They're skipping leg day of not doing the financial statements. And then they even, and by the way, don't think your accountant's going to fix this either. I'm always amazed at how many people show up with the shoebox or the you know, and think that their accountant's going to be able to fix and do the financials. Nobody's going, they're going to charge you a fortune. They're not going to care about it. Do it the right way. Put the time in. Don't skip leg day, and your business will be better for it. Your profit will be better for it, and you will actually be able to fulfill all your financial dreams by doing the work at the right time, at the right place, and then reaping the fruits that come from that.
But maybe you're not a business owner. Maybe that doesn't apply to you, but you still, as an individual, need to know what your numbers are. If you're not tracking an annual net worth statement every single year that details what you own and details what you owe so you can track your progress towards financial independence, I would argue that you're doing it wrong. If you don't have a tool like that, go to learn.moneyguy.com and check out our net worth tool and start tracking it today so that you can know what your numbers are from a personal financial standpoint.
And everyone, I'm sure Caleb is telling them this too. You got to be budgeting. If you're not on the path to building wealth, maybe you're spending every dollar that comes in. Get that under control today, so today can be the beginning of your great, big, beautiful tomorrow. I'm your host, Brian Preston, Mr. Bo Handsome. We love reacting to all these videos, whether it's TikTok, whether it's Caleb Hammer. Please go to moneyguy.com and you can check out all of our content. Go to moneyguy.com/resources. Take advantage of all our free stuff that will load you up.